Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wingcat Sports, and it's our NFC North breakdown for the week. Good week overall inside the NFC North. If you want to be closer, bad news if you're a Bears fan, because you're still last place in the division with 4 wins. Um, Looking at it overall, we'll start with our one game between two teams, and then we'll go on to our other game. The closer game, obviously, the Lions and Vikings. 31-29 Lions. They take the lead in the NFC North. And the Lions themselves, not because we're Lions fans, but they have been playing unbelievable for what they usually are. First time starting 5-1 in back-to-back seasons since they moved to Detroit back in 1934. Over the past 4 games, they have more offensive touchdowns than they have incompletions.
Amazing.
So it's just they are a really good team right now. And most Lions fans do not know how to fully comprehend that. Like, we understand that we're good, but if you still told us we're the number one team in the NFC,
it's hard to believe.
It's hard
when
to
you
believe.
Look at all the other teams in the NFC, there's really nobody better than them. I mean, they're still going to have. I agree with the general consensus that we've heard on the radio. They have to do something about the pass rush.
They do.
They caught Minnesota off guard. They did. Minnesota really didn't know.
Well, they also helped Minnesota get points, so at the same time.
Oh, they did. I mean, I'm not saying that, but I just don't think Minnesota knew what to do with their defense. But now that people see what they're going to do, they blitz like 50 times. I don't know what the hell.
The other thing is,
51% of the time they blitzed, and it was, that's just, you're not going to be able to do that against teams all the time, especially if they prepare against that. You had no pass rush, basically. Only one defensive lineman had a sack out of the 4. It was mostly blitzes and linebackers and cornerbacks.
Yeah. But I mean, that's not to knock on Minnesota though either. With how the game went, Minnesota played a great game.
No,
they rushed for 140, which is the most on Detroit this year.
Right.
Sam Darnold threw for 260 yards. The stats for the whole game are pretty even. First down 19-16, total plays 56-52, total yards 391 to 383. They both had a total of 11 drives. It was an even game. The Lions ended up getting the ball last, having faith in a kicker, and getting that field goal.
Right.
And even so, Minnesota had somewhat of a chance. The refs kind of helped them at the end there, but gave them a chance.
Yeah. I mean, I think listening to the Minnesota podcasts and stuff like that, they get the idea that these are the two best teams in the NFC right now. I'm not so sure about Minnesota yet. I do think they're a very good team, or they're a good team. They're going to make the playoffs. But most of that is due to the fact of their schedule. I think that they just have a very easy schedule. And, when they have to play some better competition come the playoffs,
we'll see what happens.
I don't know what they're going to do.
Because, again, last time the Vikings started 5-0, they ended up missing the playoffs and going 8-8. I don't think that's going to happen this time because you're facing a lot better competition. A lot weaker competition. But we'll see exactly what happens. But the Vikings are a good team. I think they'll handle themselves. They'll probably be in the playoffs. Just like the next team we're going to talk about with how it's being played. The Packers, right? They barely beat the Texans off a last-second field goal by their brand-new kicker. They brought on Brandon McManus. I had their other kicker that they dropped. He wasn't actually doing that bad in fantasy, but I guess they wanted a different guy.
Yeah.
But they ended up winning 24-22 off a last-second field goal. Jordan Love, again, playing the way he usually does. You had a good game, 24 for 33, 220, 3 TDs and 2 interceptions.
Yes,
decent day.
Fantasy team quite a bit.
Now, problem is Green Bay didn't run that much. They only ran for 82 yards on the day of 20 attempts. But they ended up pulling out the win and keeping themselves in pace in the NFC North. There's no room for mistakes inside the NFC North right now. You have to win if you want to be competitive inside the division.
I don't know if anybody saw this coming before the season. Anybody could predict that all 4 of these teams. I mean, technically, you just have 4 first-place teams right now.
Technically, if you want to fully look at standing-wise, the Bears, even though they're 4-2 right now, the only division they currently would not be sitting on top of is the NFC West, but that's only because the Washington Commanders are 5-2.
Right, which is crazy. So it's a crazy year so far. I think, like I said, though, the schedule's looking a little easier for the Lions. Now that we see some of these teams pop out, we're not afraid of anybody in the NFC. Nobody. Um, and really, in the AFC, you got maybe two teams that we're scared
But
of. Buffalo, maybe Kansas City. I don't really see. There's a lot
and
of
you get to
parity
see.
this year.
And the good thing about this year, you play Buffalo, so you kind of get to see
Right,
how you're going to do against the top AFC team.
right.
But kind of looking into next week, right? Again, all FC North looking pretty good. Everyone's about the same. Lions lead because they have the tiebreaker with Minnesota. Packers are still 5-2, and then Bears are 4-2. So
Right.
still roughly the same amongst the whole entire thing. But looking at the games next week, Minnesota is having a short week. They are going to LA to play Matthew Stafford and the Rams. So we'll see how that goes. I'm pretty confident Minnesota can handle LA. However, LA is getting Cooper Kupp back into their lineup.
These are big things, and I will never count Matt Stafford out. I think LA Rams defense is decent. So I think that this is going to be a tough game.
And they're still in the play for their
Right.
division
They're
because
still
their
in there
division
'cause
sucks.
Their division, you're right, exactly. That's why that win over San Francisco that Minnesota had doesn't impress me as much as it did when it happened. Because I just think San Francisco is going through some bad times. But Minnesota, like I said, they know they need to keep winning. Everybody in our division is like,
we
we
understand.
know
But
every
we all
loss
kind
is
of
going to
we
be.
all kind
It's
of
going to
have an
hurt.
easier week except for the Bears inside the NFC North. Because the Lions, they're gonna go have their nice little game against the Tennessee Titans at home. Not that bad of a competition for the
No,
Lions.
these are the games you have.
It's going to be
This
a
is
must
a have
win.
to
This is a have to win for about
because you can't
all
lose
the
to
teams
teams like this.
in the
This
NFC
is
North.
shit. So I mean,
5-1
to me,
Tennessee
these are
Titans.
have to games. You have to beat these teams.
5-1 Tennessee Titans. Probably Mason Rudolph starting. The Lions are favored by 11.5. Minnesota's favored by 3, by the way, in their game. Lions are favored by 11.5 going into their game against Tennessee. So they should hit the over on that 11.5.
Yeah, they should.
With that.
Yeah.
Green Bay, they're going to go to Jacksonville, coming off a win in London, their second win of the year. They are favored by 4.5 in Jacksonville.
They should win.
They should take care of business in Jacksonville. No problem.
I still don't know what's happening in Jacksonville. What happened?
I have no idea.
So bad.
I have no idea what's happening in
now
Jacksonville.
Trevor
either.
Lawrence is garbage. I mean, 2 years ago he was great.
I don't know.
He was still.
I don't even
pretty
know
darn
what
good.
happened in Jacksonville.
I have no idea what's going on.
And then
down there. Somebody tell us.
your late game on Sunday, for those of you who want to watch it will be potentially on CBS for us. Bears and Commanders in Washington.
That's going to be a fun game to watch.
Jaden Daniels, if he's back, I think he's hurt a little bit too much, but I'm not 100% sure.
Still hurt? Oh,
I haven't kept up on that. He is questionable.
That would be terrible because that's what that game is being advertised as. Those two against each other.
We're gonna have Marcus Mariota instead.
I'm hoping, yeah, that would be a great one to watch. Turn that off.
But all the teams in the NFC North this week are kind of need to look ahead to what they need to do. All of them need to win. Like I said, almost all the teams have a good few weeks to look at. Like the Vikings, they're gonna play the Rams, Colts, Jaguars, and Titans before they even play against the Bears. That's 4 wins I see right in a row for Minnesota. Right after losing to us, they could just bounce right back and win 4 more games. When it comes to the Lions, it's not as easy. Yes, you get to play Tennessee this week, but now you got to go to Lambeau. Then you got to go to Houston before you come home and play Jacksonville, and then go to Indy. So
not as easy.
It's a bouncing back and forth for the Lions. But if you can get by Green Bay,
that's why I'm still saying, I think Minnesota certainly should be the odds-on favorite, and barring injury, to win our division.
Yeah, I mean
their schedule is just too easy.
The back-to-back week of Packers Texans is not going to be easy on the Lions, especially since both are road games. However, the Texans have barely beat anybody in the NFC North, so that might be a struggle for them overall. Right. We might do well against the Texans, but I will see what ends up happening
in Houston, though, right?
Yes. Okay. When we're looking at Green Bay, yes, they have a nice, easy matchup this week. But when you go a little bit further, They're going to play the Jaguars this week. Then they play us at home. Then the Bears. Then they get to come home to play the 49ers, and then the struggling Dolphins. So, and that gets them to about December. So, I mean, the Packers, they have a semi-favorable schedule going into December. And they might only be a 2-loss team going into that. Or
right.
Or 3-loss, depending on what happens against us. And then last but not least, looking at the Chicago Bears having their lovely favorable schedule with last place division teams. They're going to be playing after the Commanders. They're going to play the Cardinals, the Patriots, the Packers, the Vikings, and then the Lions on Thanksgiving. So 3 straight divisional matchups for the Bears to kind of end out the month of November. So not necessarily going to be easy for them, but luckily after that they get their bye week before they kind of had to gear up for the end of the year.
Right.
But the Bears, like I said, they have a favorable schedule outside of divisional opponents.
Yeah, I don't think the Bears are that still. They're certainly better than how they started. So I mean, they looked like garbage for a few weeks, but so did we in some ways. So we got through it. It's just some weird. It's our division is the toughest in football right now.
And you, like I said, there's a chance that each one of us in the division ends with 3 losses or 4 losses.
Not each one. No, I don't see that.
There's a chance.
I think I can't see the Bears only having 3 losses.
Because if you only lose to yourself,
right,
in the division, now the Bears would have to sweep every. Bears are probably going to have the most losses if everybody split. Right, the Lions would have 2 more losses on their schedule. The Vikings would have 2 more. Packers would have 2 more, and the Bears would have 2 more, leading the Packers and the Bears to have 13-4 records, and the Vikings and Lions to have 14-3 records. And that is possible.
It's not possible,
but it's probably not going to happen. But it's possible to happen. That would be insane if that is how the season ends.
I mean, right. I mean, we're not going to go 16 or 16-1. We're just not going to do that. So, if we do, I'll be very happy. But
it's not gonna. Like I said, my prediction to start the year was 13-4. That was what I thought.
Yeah,
I'm still
thinking 11-6.
I thought your ceiling was 5. I thought your ceiling, if everything went right this year, was 15-2 without Hutch. 15-2 is not happening.
I just can't see. Yeah, I mean it's crazy.
I think 13 wins is still possible though with how they're playing. But with all that being said, if you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, share the video around. Let me know what you think about the NFC North overall. Likely the best division in football right now. Until next time, see everybody soon.